But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
Perfect. Not one mistake.
Beautifully read. Mrs. Spencer.
I've heard the Sermon on the Mount before, but to read it myself, them are powerful words.
Arguably the most powerful ever spoken.
What Jesus is saying is that it ain't enough to love our friends and our neighbors. God wants us to love everyone, even our enemies. We're all the same in his eyes.
Fairlight, is something wrong?
Well, there are folks that say we ain't all the same, that God made some breeds to be serving others. Now, that's in the Bible, too.
You were speaking about Daniel Scott.
He came by the cabin today. He seemed nice, but...
Then what is the trouble, Mrs. Spencer?
Well, he's just so...
What?
different.
How? Other than the color of his skin?
Well, he's an outsider, and some folks say he won't fit in the cove.
And what do these say?
I don't know.
Have we not all one Father? Hath not one God created us? Malachi 2:10. Neither the Negro race nor any other was created by the Almighty to be inferior.
It's not only in the Bible. The Declaration of Independence says that all men are created equal.
Perhaps one day, even women will be so highly regarded.
Ladies?
Dr. McNeil, that timing is fortuitous.
What can I do for you, Alice? Besides restocking your dispensary.
Well, right now, I'd like to talk about Daniel Scott.
What about him?
They have yet to initiate any kind of relationship with him.
Well, I've been busy, and I hear he's building a cabin.
He's also anxious to begin his medical apprenticeship. When may I tell him that he will hear from me?
I cannot say. As you know, Alice, some of our patients prefer to keep their doctoring confidential.
You're procrastinating, Neil.
The truth is, I don't think he belongs here. And I can't encourage him to stay.
Indeed.
Dan?
Over here! That's it, boy. Walk up.
I wasn't sure what you decided to build. This is beautiful.
I suppose. Right now, all I can see is the work ahead of me.
And how is it coming?
I guess it'll be better once I get a well dug. Out of water again.
Well, why don't you get a drink of the Spencers? They're close by.
I don't think that's such a good idea.
I happen to be going there right now. Why don't you come with me and we'll find out? Dan. Jeb and Fairlight are good people. Give them a chance. Good afternoon, Jeb.
Miss Christy?
And I believe you know Dan Scott?
We met?
Mr. Spencer?
I was just telling Dan what good friends the Spencers have been to the mission. How you made me feel so welcome here, and how much he is going to enjoy getting to know you.
I got a heap of work to do.
Can I give you a hand with that, Mr. Spencer?
I doubt it.
I will leave you two men to talk this over.
Did, you folks lose a lot of bees this winter?
What the cold didn't get, bears did.
Well, they seem to be recovering pretty well.
They're coming along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, these new hives should help. I know a bit about keeping bees. Enough to leave it to an expert such as yourself. Tell me, you, ever have occasion to rent them out?
Rent? Bees, never heard of it.
Back in Kentucky, farmers use bees to pollinate their crops. Apple orchards and alfalfa mostly.
Folks pay for that?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes quite a lot.
How many hives we talking about? Per acre?
1, 2.
Here, I thought all it was good for was making honey.
I've even heard of some folks raising queen bees for sale.
Imagine that.
He's loved his music ever since he was a little boy. I remember Jeb singing me a song, and John chimed right in. He wasn't no more than 2 years old.
And he soaks it up faster than I can teach it.
Well, you take time with him, and he's grateful for it, even if he ain't told you. And Jeb and me, we are too.
I feel like John said something to me.
Bessie Colburn's been over here almost every day lately. John doesn't seem too happy to see her.
I think she's pressuring him. She wants to get married, but you cannot let them. They are not ready.
I know. And so does Jeb, and so does Kyle Colburn. But trying to hold back young hearts, why, you might as well try to stop the sun from shining.
Meet me by the river tonight.
Bessie, I got chores and I want to work on my songbook.
I need you to, John. Please, John?
I was restless. It's too bright to sleep.
I should try. I've got an early morning.
And I will say goodnight.
Don't stay up too late.